The last lesson in this session is going to be about some more music reading. It's easy though, and it's music that's designed especially for the guitar. As we learned last time, we learned about the stave, the treble clef, the time signature and that sort of stuff, and also the notes. Now what we're going to do is learn a thing called tablature. Tablature is exclusive guitar music. It's a line, it's another stave basically that rests underneath the line of music. As we can see on the screen and on your page, it's got 6 lines going horizontal there. The top line is the first string of the guitar, or the skinny one, and the bottom line is the 6th string, so the lines actually represent the strings of the guitar. What we put on those lines is numbers, and the numbers on there are the frets. So if we were to have a number on that on the second line down from the top and say it was a number 1, what it would mean is that we play this note here, the first fret on the 2nd string. So the numbers are the frets against the lines there. That's tablature. You can tell tab because it has a little TAB against the right hand margin. The numbers underneath it also line up with the notes on the music stave, which is exactly what we want, because the notes on the music stave tell us the timing, and then the tablature tells us which notes on the guitar to play. So it's a bit of a gift. What tablature doesn't tell us, however, is whether we strum it, whether we pick it with a pick, whether we finger pick it, or that sort of thing. So you've still got to use your interpretation, but it does make life a little bit easier, as you shall see. Now, if you remember, when we learned how to play a G chord, we learned when we did the music, we showed what a G chord looked like on the music stave. Very confusing and very ridiculous for us to try and play. However, with tab there, it makes it a little bit easier. We can still see up the top it's got the actual G chord diagram. Then it's got all the music, which we're ignoring, apart from the fact we can see it's made up of a whole note, so we know to hold that G chord for 4 beats. But underneath it, you can see all the numbers there. Starting from the top and going down, it's 3, 0, 0, 0, 2 and then 3 again. So let's go through it from the beginning, starting from the top. So we can see on the first string it says to play the 3rd fret of the first string. So let's play that note now. And then 0 of course means open string, so we'll play that one. And then another 0, then another 0. Then we've got a 2, so we play the 2, we'll put our 2nd finger onto the 2nd fret there, and then a 3 on the 6th string. Now, because the numbers are on top of each other, one up and down like that, it means we play them all together. So we know that has to be a strum. Do you understand how the tab works then? It's quite tricky and it takes a little bit of practice to understand it, but you can just see how the numbers relate. What it doesn't tell us is which fingers on the left hand to use, so we could just as easily have played it like this. Or we might have put our first finger down there, tried to get the 2nd finger there and the 3rd finger like that, which is ridiculous. And that's the trap you have to watch. You have to understand tab and use the most logical way to play it after you've figured out what it's doing. Let's look at the next chord now. It's a C chord, so let's start from the first string again and go through. It says the first string is open. It says on the 2nd string we play the 1st fret note, so we'll put our first finger onto the 1st fret of the 2nd string. Then the 3rd string is open, and then on the 4th string it's got a 2 there, so we'll put this finger onto the 2nd fret of the 4th string. And then on the 5th string it's got a 3, so we'll put this finger here onto the 3 there, 3rd fret of the 5th string, and then the 6th string's nothing's played. So we can see that's a C chord there. Once again, the numbers are on top of each other. So that's reading tab. You've got 6 horizontal lines, of which the top line is the 1st string and the bottom line is the 6th string. You have numbers which go onto those lines, which represent the frets of the guitar, telling us which fretted notes to play. The numbers don't represent the fingers, they represent the frets. And also tablature, if the numbers are on top of each other, then that tells us to play them all at once. So with our new skills of reading tablature, we're going to take this a step further and start to play some tablature based things. So as you can see on the screen and also in your book, there's a line of music there now. Now it's got notes all over the place, it's got sharp and flat symbols, the flat being the one like a little B and the sharp being a hash key, and it's got all these crazy things. We don't know what they are, we don't recognize them, and we certainly can't read them. So that piece of music is now entirely irrelevant to us. However, what we'll do is we'll put some tablature to it and we'll be able to read it. So bang, and now you can see we've got the same line with tablature there underneath it. This makes it a bit easier for us to read. So let's have a good close look at it. It says the first note to play is the 4th fret of the 3rd string. So let's play that note now. 4th fret, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3rd string, 1, 2, 3. That's our first note. It then says to play the 4th fret on the 1st string, so that's that one here. And then it then says to play the 4th note on the 3rd fret again. Now again, tablature doesn't tell us which fingers to use, and it doesn't tell us anything about the right or the left hand at all. It doesn't even tell us to pick it. So I'll tell you now, we're going to pick it with the pick, and we're also going to use the 2nd and 3rd fingers here. So let's just put the fingers in place now. We'll put the second finger onto that note on the 4th fret of the 3rd string, and we'll put the third finger onto the 4th fret of the 1st string. And now we'll pluck the first 3 notes of our line of tab. 4, 4, 4. Understand that? Let's carry on a little bit. Then it says to do 3, 3, 3. So it's 3 on the 3rd string, 3 on the 1st string, and then 3 on the 3rd string again. So we've got... So let's try that again. 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, 3. Next one is 2, 2, 2. So we'll just move these fingers back again. 2, 2, 2. And then the last part is 1, 0, 0. So we'll put our first finger onto the 1st fret there, and the 1, 0, 0 being up and down from each other means that we now play it all together. So we'll just give that a little flick with the pick. So let's try and do that first bar there. That's the first bar. Now you see how the tablature enabled us to play that. If we'd been trying to read it from the music, we would have just been totally unable to play it, but the tab gave us the opportunity. So that's what tablature is for. But again, what you have to be wary of is the fact that it doesn't show the fingers on the right hand, and it doesn't tell us whether to pick or what it tells us to do. It only tells us the frets to play. So we could have just as easily been playing it like this, all with the first finger, which doesn't give us the sound. It's much better to play it with a better technique like this, using the 2nd and 3rd fingers and just picking it all. Try that again. Much better technique. Now let's have a look at the second bar. It says 0, 0, 1 and 2. So the 0 is on the 5th string. So that's the 5th string open note, of course. So let's play that. It says to do it twice. And then it says to do the 1st fret note, so we'll put the 1st finger down there, and then the 2nd fret note there. So our second bar is a... So let's try and put the 2 bars together. You got the second bar worked out okay? That's pretty easy compared to the first. So we'll try it together now. And that's our 2-bar riff. From tablature, picking with the right hand, playing with the correct fingers and the correct technique on the right hand. So with the right hand you're doing the chromatic scale type 1 finger per fret type thing, and up here we're using the 2nd and 3rd fingers. You might ask why we're not doing it with the 1st and 2nd fingers like that. I have a personal preference for doing with the 2nd and 3rd fingers. Further on up the track we'll be doing all sorts of things with the slides like that, and we have more strength in these 2 fingers combined than we do with these 2. So very important, 2nd and 3rd fingers on there, and down here 1 finger per fret like our chromatic scale. I'll play the riff once more and you can try and play along with it. It's an intro for your 12-bar blues too, so from there you would go into the shuffle, etc. Have fun. The last thing we'll learn for session 4 is about riffs. As we played before, we played the shuffle riff, the blues riff. We just played the intro, that's a bit of a riff as well. And now we're going to use our skills in music reading and tablature to play some new riffs. The first one is an old theme song to an old movie. It's just a nice little piece to play. What I want you to do is, like the chromatic scale, play 1 finger per fret, and we'll just do it. We'll read the tablature now. It's open, open on the 6th string, and then it's 2, 2nd fret note, then open again, then 3, then open, and then 5 and 4. The second bar is just a repeat. So if we put that all together, quite a nice little sounding riff. At speed, I'm sure you recognise that. Now as you can, I want you to read it yourself off the tablature, and just take a note of the right hand technique because the tab doesn't tell us that. 1 finger per fret starting from the 2nd fret. The next riff there is an old Rolling Stones classic. It's a great little riff. It's going to involve you picking quite fast with the right hand. As we can see, it's got a 2-2 there, 4 and 5, 2. Just like that. Again, I want you to read it off the tablature. The last riff we've got is an old classic Deep Purple one. Very popular song, no real right hand technique to it, just usually use the 2 fingers like this or else a flattened finger like that. It's up to you really. Again, it's more practice just for reading tablature more than anything else. I'll play it for you now. well. So with your tablature now, you can go and play any songs you like if they have tablature. You'll be able to work out what's going on. You can use your knowledge of chords and music reading, as well as strums and picking that we've been doing, and the tablature, and you can really start playing some exciting music.